been seeing these comments in my previous videos about the narcissistic parent, because many of you have been wondering, so what will usually happen when you leave the narcissistic family unit? So the narcissistic parent is going to experience a narcissistic injury. So when the scapegoat walks away, the narcissistic parent will experience a narcissistic injury, and it's going to be very serious. So if you're dealing with these parents who are aging, who are like in their last days, in their last years or something like that, they are aging, it is going to be very difficult to look at them. It is going to be very difficult to look at them. That's why I've told you guys, when you leave those kind of units, do not look behind. Because when you look behind, when you look back, you're not going to like what you see. So as a person who is escaping narcissistic abuse, and you've been a scapegoat in your family, you have got to know that the narcissistic parent is going, first of all, they're going to experience a narcissistic injury. And then after the narcissistic injury, they are going to go through a total decomposing process. So they're going to start decomposing. The reason why I'm saying they're going to decompose is because you have unplugged their energy batteries. You have unplugged their supply cables, their supply chains, and you've unplugged and switched off their energy batteries. So you have left them there without supply, without fuel. So they've been using to, all these years playing around with you and doing all these kind of things. But at this moment in time, they do not have any fuel batteries. So you are going to experience those individuals are going to collapse. You may sometimes hear it from people. The people may come around and tell you that, hey, you know what? I've seen your father, I've seen your mother. They are looking like they are going to die. They are looking like a walking dead. So you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that I've told you guys that living narcissistic family units is very painful. So for the most of us who have done it, we know what it looks like. You understand? So it's very painful, and sometimes most of the things, they're going to be very difficult to look at. So as you live in those kind of units, you have got to make sure that you keep on walking and you don't look back. Because those individuals, first of all, after they go through the narcissistic injury, they are going to start starving for fuel, for supply. So they're going to start biting on, it's like, for example, you have got these other family members around that you've left behind. So they're going to start picking up on different family members, because they want somebody who is going to help them who is going to help them to thrive. They need somebody who is going to help them to survive. So they're going to start biting on these other different family members. And most of the times, those family members, they're not used to that kind of abuse. So that's why you see they are scrambling around and looking for alternative sources that they can get their fuel. But when sometimes it happens that there's nobody around there, maybe sometimes a lot of family members, they have left the family, they have just carried on with their life, they have gone on to live their lives. So you may see those individuals, actually, they may not even sometimes live very longer. So that's why you see many people have talked about those cases whereby they have lost actually their parents. They say that, okay, when they left the family units and they walked away, in a few months their parents were already dead. So I would like to put out something very, very serious, and I think this is something that people do not talk about. So many people online, they're not talking about this. You have got to know, ladies and gentlemen, that the moment you unplug from those units and you unplug your fuel sources and your fuel batteries, you may sometimes hear deaths happening in that family. So those people are going to deteriorate. Their health is going to deteriorate. We're talking about those narcissistic parents. Their health is going to deteriorate. You're going to realize that in a very short period of time, they're already looking like zombies. They're already looking like they are soon visiting their grave. So they are going to decompose, they are going to deteriorate, their health, you start hearing them, they have been hospitalized, they have been having some problems with their kidneys, something happened with their hearts. You're going to start hearing a lot of things that you do not even want to hear. So do not be surprised as to why, when you're leaving those kind of units, you're seeing a lot of these individuals trying to come around and hoover you. They are going to try very hard, at least they are going to try to see if they can suck you back into the family, you know what I mean? Because your presence and your existence in that family is very important. Even if most of the times they did not want to acknowledge that you were important in that family. But behind closed doors and secretly, they know that your presence is very important. So that's the reason as to why you're seeing a lot of these hoovers are coming in. You know what I mean? You're seeing a lot of these family members, they are trying to, to hook you and pull you back into the family, they're hovering you. Oh, come back, dad is missing you, mommy is missing you, come on, we have Thanksgiving, let's enjoy this Christmas together. So those kind of things, you're going to hear those kind of things a lot. But you've got to know scapegoats that returning to those units is very dangerous. So when you have left the unit, there's no way back, ladies and gentlemen. When you have left the unit, you have left, and you're going to start living a new life. You're going to uh, get your own closure and understand that from that point forthwards, life is never going to be the same. So you're never going to be able to return to those families. Because when you return to those families, you're going to be punished. So the reason why you're being punished is because you are not supposed to live in the past place. It's like a very big humiliation to those narcissistic parents. How could you just embarrass them and walk away from the family? You know what I mean? Embarrass them in front of um, other family members. So sometimes you're going to experience a lot of hatred. They may love bomb you a bit, you know what I mean? When you come back, they may love bomb you a bit. But they're also going to um, when the love bomb fades away, eventually the abuse is going to go back from the beginning. Because remember that, guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's very difficult to replace a scapegoat. They will usually try in the early days or the early months. They will usually try, but it is very difficult to replace a scapegoat. You know what I mean? Because those individuals, they call them energy supplies, and they are energy batteries and energy fuels for a reason. You know what I mean? It's the reason because you are involved with these vampires who do not know how to generate their own fuel. So they only need other people to survive. So you have been the main source of supply in that family. But you have to be aware, ladies and gentlemen, you may sometimes hear a lot of sicknesses. You may sometimes go back. People will come and tell you that your father is or your mother is spending the whole day in the room. They are sleeping the whole day. They are spending the whole time in the house. They do not want to go out there because normally, I've told you guys, when you start blowing the trumpet and bringing out these demonic activities to the surface, so those things are going to rub people the wrong way. And they are going to break down out of this. So that's why I've told you guys that most of the time, these narcissists, they're worried about super empaths. Because most of the things that you're doing, they are the things that you do that are going to break down those narcissists to a magnitude they've never seen before. You know what I mean? So sometimes these people, they take your kindness for weakness. You know what I mean? The more you're kind and you're a good person, you always want to be there. Elevate everybody, help everybody. You know what I mean? You don't wish any harm to anyone. But the problem is that you cannot help a demon. You cannot help a person who is demonically possessed. It's very difficult. They're going to continuously pretend around that they like you or they love you, whatever it is. They will be hearing a lot of those things, those parents. Oh, son, we love you. You're our favorite, and this and this. They will be sometimes love bombing you secretly, but at the same time, they hate you. So on a very subconscious level, they hate you, and most of the times, they do not even know the reason why to ask why usually they hate you. So this thing is a very subconscious thing. It's a very spiritual thing. You know what I mean? You have got to get used to the fact that life is going to get a little bit lonely, ladies and gentlemen. Life is going to get a little bit lonely. So in the first months, uh, you're going to struggle a little bit. In the first months, you're going to struggle. Emotions, you're going to be thinking about a lot of things. You're trying to get yourself together, understand what just happened. But you've got to know that if you're living with a narcissistic parent, the chances are very high that their mask is going to slip. And guys, I've told you always in my videos that when that mask slips, ladies and gentlemen, those are the sights you don't want to see. You don't want to see because it's going to be very, very painful. It's going to be very painful for you to understand that you've been living with a narcissistic parent for all these years. And you're understanding your worth and your value, and finally you've got to release them. So it's going to be very painful. You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that there is sometimes things you're going to experience when you leave those. So there's going to be a lot of emotions and a lot of, it's going to be very emotional to leave a toxic family unit behind. But you also have to understand that when you stay there, you're going to die. You know what I mean? So those people, they do not have a problem to exterminate you. They do not have a problem to kill you. They can exterminate you and just carry on with their days like nothing happened. So when you're dealing, they call these families dysfunction for a reason. You know, they call those families dysfunction for a reason because those families, there's a lot of demonic activity happening in the background. You know what I mean? So the people might as well start, go ahead and start explaining to people that when you're talking about narcissistic abuse, we're just simply talking about demonic activity. You know what I mean? Because this whole thing of the experience of this narcissistic abuse and everything is very dangerous. It's very intense. You know what I mean? You already know that you're dealing with people. You're dealing with demons. These are people who have been possessed by demons, and they are going to do everything in their power to make sure that they are either stopping your progress. If they can't do that, they will destroy you, or they will kill you, or sometimes they will steal from you. So those are the three missions of those guys. But in this video, I would like to I wanted to emphasize to you guys who are leaving the toxic family units behind. Your narcissistic parent is going to go through a very, very serious narcissistic injury. So you're going to injure those individuals by getting yourself out of those units. You're going to injure them very deeply. You're going to send them in panic because they just don't know what happened. Most of the times you're doing this by surprise. So they don't know what happened. They just wake up and you're gone. And they're scrambling around, looking around, where is this person? So you're going to hear a lot of those, smear campaigns. They're going to go around and smear your name, talk a lot of BS and crap about you, that person is like that, this person, I knew it all along, this and so. You'll hear all those stories. But for a person who is educated on narcissistic abuse, you can care less. You know what I mean? Because those are the things that you expect. When you're dealing with a narcissist, those are the things that you would expect, even sometimes from your family members. So you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that the family that you're leaving behind, they never loved you. It is very important to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. The moment you understand this, you're going to heal faster. You're going to mourn over it, like anybody else who leaves a unit behind. You're going to mourn, but when the mourning process is finished, you're going to start healing, and your healing is going to be very fast because now you finally understand what to do. You know what I mean? You can no longer cling on to people that don't love you. You cannot cling on to people that do not genuinely love you. They only love you with the mouth, with the words. They are saying that they love you, but I want you to do one thing and leave those individuals. You're going to realize none of them has ever loved you in the first place. They're all going to ghost you. They're going to go around and make meetings and start talking about your name, gossiping about you. So your name is going to be smeared in the mud just because you left a toxic family unit behind. So there is people in those families who don't want to take responsibility for their behavior. They want to do whatever they want to do, and they don't want to take accountability. So they don't want to be asked or to be told what they have done. And you start pointing out things that they have done, and they know that those things are wrong. So they don't want to take accountability. It's the reason as to why they decide and sacrifice a member in that family to destroy, so that they can always get away with whatever it is going on in their own private lives. You know what I mean? There's a lot of BS that they don't tell you about, those individuals. There is so much BS they do not talk about behind closed doors. They are doing a lot of shit behind your back. You cannot even imagine. But when they come in your face, they are going to smile. So they call those individuals dysfunctional families for a reason. They call them dysfunctional families for a reason. They are as dysfunctional as they can be. They are as dysfunctional as they can be. So when you're a scapegoat, you've been a black sheep in the family, you have got to make sure you can only pray for those individuals. You can only pray for your parents, but you have got to know that a lot of stuff is going to start to go down. You know what I mean? Because those parents, I've told you guys in my videos, they have sacrificed you. So you have been like the sacrificial lamb in the family. So for the family to survive, they needed a sacrificial lamb. You could have been one of them, or there could have been two of them, depending on the size of the family. It could have been a very big family. So there were a couple of them. So the family has got to sacrifice somebody to thrive. And you have got to know, ladies and gentlemen, that it is hard. It is hard. So you're going to heal. This thing is going to take a lot of healing to do. You know what I mean? But remember that you're going to hear the news. So you're going to hear news. Whichever news comes your way, you just have to remember that you heard it from me, that things are going to start go down. So you're going to start seeing a lot of things that you weren't expecting to see from those narcissistic parents, and even sometimes those narcissistic family members. You know what I mean? So when you're talking about the black sheep, those people don't understand that they are playing with fire. You know, a lot of people don't understand who the black sheep is. A lot of people think that the black sheep, they are those little babies who are feeling sorry for themselves. So they do not really understand the power that is behind the black sheep. They do not understand that that person is different for a reason. You know, God has anointed you, and because of that anointing will make you to stand out from the family. So it's actually your indifference that they hate. So the people do not understand that you're the most powerful person in that family. They know it on the subconscious level, especially when you're talking about your parents. Those narcissistic parents who are at the top. They know it on a very subconscious level. But they do not understand on a spiritual level that you are the most powerful person in that family. Maybe that's the reason why sometimes you intimidate them. You usually used to intimidate them, and they want always you to live your life in a little box so that everybody will come around and do whatever they wanted to do with you. You know what I mean? So they didn't really understand that you are the most powerful person in that family, and you were sent to that family by the universe to heal them. So a lot of these revelations are going to come the family members later on, when they start coming to that realization that you are the black sheep in the family, you are the chosen one. They're going to start getting a lot of revelations of what exactly has been going down ever since you was a part of the unit. Because there is things that they couldn't see when you were there, you know. They couldn't see, even if you showed them things that you told them, listen, guys, this is what's happening. Look at this, look at that. They couldn't hear you. But you will live, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to create the biggest storm you've ever seen in that family. There is going to be chaos. The demons are going to start exposing themselves. So all these families, you see them, you start to seeing and hearing a lot of family members who are starting to fight against each other. They almost want to kill each other. Have you asked yourself a reason as to why you had to leave the family unit? And the moment you leave that family unit is the moment they started to fight against each other. Ask yourself that question, ladies and gentlemen. It's because the demons are now starting to expose themselves. They have been undercover all these years, eating off of your energy, little by little every day, But when you're gone, in the spiritual realm, you cause a very big disruption in the spiritual realm, because now these demons do not have a supply. They do not have a supply chain because you've left. And they do not know what to do with themselves, So what they do now, they start biting off each other. So that's why you see a lot of these conflicts are starting to happen. The mother wants to kill the father wants to kill the sister. Everybody wants to kill each other. They want to destroy each other, maybe not even kill, but it might even happen sometimes if you're dealing with these psychopaths. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you're talking about dysfunctional families, I want you to get it straight. We're dealing with demonic activity. You know what I mean? And you've been in that family as the archangel, so your mission in that family is big. It will come to you, ladies and gentlemen. You will wake up one day and realize what you came to do, but you're going to realize that your mission is too big. So the black sheep, ladies and gentlemen, expect to hear deaths, sicknesses, fights. So the whole entire fence, the wall is coming down. The wall is coming down. The whole empire is falling to pieces. The whole empire that they've built on the house of cards, everything is falling to pieces. You've got to know that. And those are the things you don't want to hear. You don't want to participate. You want to do the best you can do to move on with your life, because there is things you don't want to see. So you guys, you need to get used to living narcissists. It doesn't matter if it has been your parent, it has been your father, your mother, whatever. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter who they are, ladies and gentlemen. When you leave those individuals, do not look behind. Don't look back. There's a reason as to why we tell you guys not to look back. And you'll only understand. Do you know in that Bible there's a story in those days, back in the days I used to hear in the Bible. So there was this the fire. What was it? The storm. Was it the fire? The fire that was, the story of the story of was it Sodom and Gomorrah? God advised those people when you're walking. I think that was Lot. But was it Lot? God advised Lot, when you're walking away, there is a storm behind there. You are not supposed to look behind. You are not supposed to look back, ladies and gentlemen, because when you look back, you're going to see things that you are not supposed to see. And you do not want to see even. So sometimes when you're walking away from these dysfunctional families, it is equated to the same process of leaving Sodom and Gomorrah. You don't look behind. When you look behind, you're going to see things you've never hoped to see. You're going to see your brothers, your sisters are going to start manifesting. These demons are going to manifest. Mostly using even sometimes your family members. They were undercover back in the days, but now they're going to start manifesting in broad daylight. They are going to expose themselves to a degree they've never seen before. So you don't participate in the chaos, ladies and gentlemen. This video is for the black sheep and the scapegoats. I wish you a quick recovery. And I hope you become that person you came here to be. Much love and blessings. Guys, there's a more signing out. Peace.